Make sure you don't miss a thing. Go to starzology.com/newsletter and sign up. Welcome to the Starzology Astrology Podcast. I'm your host, Alison Price, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Arwynne O'Neill.
Hello, Alison. It's great to be here again.
So great to have you once more. So in this episode, we're looking at the January 2026 OVERARCH.
Yeah.
So that's going to be not exactly a horoscope, but we're going to be absolutely looking at what's happening in January. And we are specifically looking at the three things. We're looking at planetary ingresses, that's planets and signs, actually. And we're going to be looking at the lunations, that's the new and the full moons. And we're going to be looking at all stations that are going to be occurring.
Yeah.
So this is going to give you an overview. And if you're an aspiring astrologer, it's going to give you an overview of the energy of the month.
Yeah. I also like to look at the outer planetary connections. Like if there are any outer planetary, for example, Mars opposes Pluto at some point, which is a pretty big one. So I like to throw those in.
We anticipate you throwing them.
Awesome.
That sounds a great thing. So the idea is that during the course of January 2026, we're looking from the 1st to the 31st. That's what we're looking at. Where are the planets? Where are they going? What are they doing? Who's who in the zoo?
Yeah.
And who's changing the pecking order?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get straight to it with exactly what's happening first, and then we can talk about things in a little bit more detail, perhaps. Yeah. Okay, so straight off, we start on the 3rd of January. We've got a full moon at 13 degrees Cancer. It's the Cancer full moon. And this lunation brings emotions to the surface and reminds us to care for what truly matters. This will be a nurturing, intuitive, and protective full moon, which highlights home, family, and emotional security. Under this gentle yet powerful light, you may feel called to reconnect with loved ones or feel the need to create more comfort in your personal space.
Nice.
It's a Cancer full moon, which is great because the moon rules Cancer, and it's the full moon. So that's January 3rd. And then we do have quite a bit of a gap. And then on the 17th, Venus is entering Aquarius. Mm-hmm. So financial affairs will favor the group. So all Aquarians will feel romantic and love is likely to come their way at this time because Venus is going to cross over their suns. And for the rest of us, new love will blossom from friendships. Finances seem fixed right now, so avoid excessive spending.
Yeah.
Whilst Venus is in Aquarius, and donations to causes will be more appreciative at this time.
For sure. And I actually kind of misspoke earlier when I was mentioning whatever happened on the January 3rd. That was totally incorrect. But what we do have, the first major conjunction or connection that happens is on January 10th.
Okay.
Yes. It's Mars opposite Jupiter. So that would be Mars at 20 Capricorn opposite Jupiter at 20 Cancer.
Okay.
That happens on January 10th. So it's not a huge big deal, but it is interesting to note. And if you do have anything at those points or at 20 degrees of, any of the cardinal signs, you might want to make note of that.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, that's great. So these are the superior aspects that we're talking about here.
Exactly.
It's kind of interesting. Yeah. Mars just trotting along right there.
Yeah. Exactly.
So Mars is in Capricorn.
Yeah.
Well placed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. And the next one I have is on the 18th. It's a bit of, dare I say, it's a slow month. So on the 18th, we've got the new moon in Capricorn. So this brings a steady focus and thoughtful actions. So this encourages you to take practical approach and plan your next steps with care. It's a new moon, so it's a time to set intentions. The energy supports rebuilding, refining, and staying grounded while you prepare for future growth.
Yeah.
Make, do, and mend fits perfectly with this earthy lunation, reminding us that small, consistent efforts now can lead to lasting rewards later.
For sure. I've got a few transits on the 20th.
Okay.
It's actually kind of a busy day for outer planetary transits, and not really outer planetary because a couple of them involve Mars.
Yeah.
But on the 20th, we have Saturn sextile Uranus.
Okay.
So that's Saturn at 27 Pisces, and that's sextile Uranus at 27 Taurus.
Right.
At the same time, we have Mars at 27 Capricorn trine Uranus, which again is at 27 Taurus. And we also have Mars sextile Saturn. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's a whole conjunction.
And that's all going down on the 20th.
Yeah, so that's a whole Saturn, Mars, Uranus thing that's happening.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're all soft aspects, so you might kind of not really even notice it, but it's potential. It's really good potential in those. in those
Wow.
signs: Pisces, Capricorn, and Taurus.
Yeah,
You
no,
expect something at the later degrees of any of those signs.
It's super interesting. These things are all coming together because it's the way the planets are placed that we're getting all of these patterns going on as well, and all of these aspects forming as well, which is super interesting. Yeah. So I've got on the 20th, the sun enters Aquarius. Which is all happening at the same time. So this is its opposite sign. So it's actually entering detriment. It's not a favorable placement for the sun. So the sun becomes weaker in this position. But we've got all these other transits occurring. So there's a lot going on. And you want to make sure, are these planets conjoining your sun or your planets or your angles as well?
For sure.
So when the sun is in Aquarius, we can expect issues of thwarted independence. I know. And the urge to break out from the herd. Individuals will require support to go it alone now, but the truth will be more readily seen and appreciated because the sun is an independent soul, an independent heart, and Aquarius is all about the group.
Right.
And it's a very difficult place for the sun to be. That's why people who are Aquarian suns frequently have other planets that are more prominent in their charts because the sun can't get its voice out there.
That is a really interesting way to put it. Yeah, I've actually noticed that about some Aquarian friends.
Yeah. So it's just that tricky time of the year when the sun is going through, because it's in its detriment. It's normally, it rules Leo, and now it's in the sign opposite, so that's the sign of its detriment. And it really is, the individual is not favored at this time.
Right.
And if you're a good old Leo, like some of us are here, I'll put my hand up to that. Independence is important. So I find this a tricky time too, because I'm thinking, it doesn't matter what Alison wants. It's, what's the Star Trek thing? The goodness of the many is...
The good of the many is more important than the good of the few or the one.
Oh, yeah. That was
a nerd check, and I either failed or passed.
Well, anyway, but that is the sun in Aquarius. That the sun is striving for independence and identity, and it cannot find it whilst it's in Aquarius.
That's always an interesting thing for me too, because I always have a hard time when the sun is in Aries, and I'm a Virgo, so that's not exactly a correlation per se, but it's just, I mean, I guess it is, because that would mean that my sun would be then in the 12th house of the time.
Well, it'd be quincunx your sun, you say,
quincunx, exactly. Like, so there's always maybe that 1 month where you just feel like, oh, things are just terrible.
Tricky.
It's tricky, or bad things happen, or like, what is happening?
And it's different for everyone. It depends where your sun is.
Exactly. Yeah. So
it does depend where your sun is.
It's super, important to note that.
Yeah. Because for me, when the sun's in Aries, it's trining my sun. So I'm thinking, this is great. Let me go.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got that going down as well. Yeah. So that's kind of, straightforward stuff. That's on the 20th. There's a lot going on there as well, right? Additionally, on the 20th, Mercury's entering Aquarius. So it's hot on the heels the same day. Clearly, Mercury's conjoined the sun at this point. It's all going down. Yeah. So now good news will arrive quickly through social channels as Mercury enters Aquarius. Conversations will be heightened as information flows.
Nice.
There could be so much data that you miss the vital ingredients in amongst the inundation of facts. So this is the tricky thing now. You're getting so much stuff, you're missing the point, and people can bury the truth in there somewhere.
Yeah. Some
people may try to slip an untruth or something shady past you now.
No.
So Mercury is the planet all about communication, information, the news, the gossip, who's in, who's out, what's going on. And when it goes into Aquarius, there's a lot coming through the social channels. Now, we talk about social channels, but I mean, I've recently just stepped back from Instagram and Facebook. I mean, I just don't anymore. But for those who are still there, the flow will continue. It will, if not increase, into a deluge.
Yeah.
And it's all coming through Mercury. So, did you know this? Did you know that? Did you know the next thing?
Yeah. And, stop scrolling, as they always say.
Yes. Yeah. So we've got that. So Mercury's there right with the sun, and it's all bringing the total focus onto the Aquarius stuff. Yeah. I then do mention on the 20th, we've got Saturn sextiling Uranus. You did mention that one, because that's, and all I've said here is more on this later. I haven't gone into it deeply because it's an ongoing coming into orb, coming out of orb kind of aspect, right?
Yeah.
Interesting, when Saturn and Uranus come together, it's a flavor of Aquarius, because Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius and Uranus does rule Aquarius.
Ruler,
So we've got this double whammy, triple whammy Aquarius vibe coming along. Yeah. So if that's not enough Aquarius for you, on the 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius.
Yeah.
So you may desire to lead your pack, but there is the energy of being a part of something bigger than yourself. Once Mars enters Aquarius, be aware of pushing your agenda onto others who perhaps will not appreciate the intrusion.
Yeah.
Take a breath before plunging in and choose your battles strategically.
Totally.
So because it's the group, because it's Mars, and we are going to say, well, I'm going to shove this down their throat right now.
Yeah.
And this is going to reinforce all the social stuff I was talking about earlier, a moment ago, that Mars is now energetically shoving the internet, the computers, the World Wide Web, who knows, ChatGPT, all the Aquarian things down our throats.
Yeah.
People are saying, no, I don't appreciate the intrusion, Mars.
Totally. And also, that's January 23rd. Mars conjuncts, and January 23rd, Sun in Aquarius at 3 degrees, conjuncts Pluto at 3 degrees Aquarius. So all of those, Mars, Pluto, and the Sun will all be right there at 3 degrees Aquarius, conjunct or otherwise.
And Mercury's there too, yeah.
Yes, and then January 27th, Mars is conjunct Pluto officially. So that's a big one. That's a big one.
It is. It's huge.
We see a lot of, not to be all like doom and gloom and predicting whatever, but I've done some research on Mars Pluto and Saturn Pluto aspects and Neptune Pluto and blah blah blah, and we do tend to see. I mean, just be careful. Like, don't rile people up if you're in a situation where there could be violence or
the mob.
Yeah, the mob, exactly. Like, these are the aspects that light the the tinderbox.
Yeah, the blue touch paper.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because this is interesting, because all of these planets are actually moving from Capricorn into Aquarius. The Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars. We haven't got to them all yet, and they're coming. And Pluto's already there.
Oh yeah, Pluto's just waiting.
So that's 5 high energy, high potency planets.
Yeah,
stimulating Aquarius.
Yeah.
So if you were born, you've got the Sun in Aquarius. All of these planets are going to conjunct your Sun.
Yeah.
And for those of us who've unfortunately got their suns in Leo, I'm getting all these oppositions.
Right.
From this one, from Pluto, from the Sun, from Mercury, from Venus, from Mars, and you're thwarted.
You'll be like looking at other people going, why are they so upset?
Exactly. And what is all this?
Why is everyone so angry?
Group mentality. What are the lynch mobs coming through in the old days? That would be the sort of thing, because the Aquarius is about the hooligan and the rebel and the group and the protest. Typically, I would assume we will see at that point about something or other.
Yeah.
People are going to take to the streets when Aquarius is emphasized.
En masse. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on, because normally on a quiet Aquarian month, you just get the Sun, Mercury, and Venus trotting through.
Just stays indoors.
But now we've got Pluto and Mars adding to the energy of the moment. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. That Pluto in Aquarius that we've been talking about for the last 2 years.
Yes.
I think these are the aspects that are really going to kick that off.
Yeah. Well, Mars has finally got round to saying, hey, buddy.
The inner planets are suddenly involved.
We're in cahoots now. Yeah. Totally. Super interesting.
Yeah.
Later on the 26th now, we've got Neptune moving back into Aries, leaving Pisces. Finally, never to return in our lifetime. It's moving into Aries for the final time. And on the blog post, we do have a lot more information about Neptune in Aries at this time. So the shift is definitely happening.
Yeah.
And we can start to see the influence of this planet now on the masses.
Yeah.
As it goes through Aries. Now it's once more crossing the Aries point, which is the sensitive point of the zodiac.
The Aries point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's happening. Those are the actual, and that Neptune moving into Aries is the.
I mean, it's a fiery, like we are already talking about, like this whole pile up in Aquarius and those beginning, kind of beginning. What's the word?
Yeah, it's incendiary. I would say
it's incendiary.
Yes.
That's the word exactly. Like we don't want to fearmonger. We don't want to blah blah blah. But yeah, the end of January does look. It's a kerfuffle.
It is, and you need to navigate these times. You need to count to 10.
Yeah.
Take a moment.
Yeah.
Don't just snap straight back at your partner. Don't just snap at the woman on the counter and the bus driver.
Right. And don't think that snapping back will just be like words, because
there will be consequences.
There will be consequences. Yeah, exactly. This is that thing where, everyone will be on edge and they won't know why necessarily, but all of these things are kind of coming together at this period. So
it's quite big, and it's creating a lot of patterns that are overriding patterns as well.
Yeah.
But if you are an Aquarian, you're going to get hit quite a bit,
especially in those degrees. The 13 Aquarius, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as those planets transit across your sun, you're going to definitely
3 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so although there's not that much happening, it's all happening in Aquarius. The spotlight is clearly on Aquarius. There's no question about it. Sometimes there's movement here, movement there, but apart from that, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Now, there's only 2 planets that are actually retrograde in January, and it's Uranus and Jupiter are retrograde the whole month.
Okay.
They're just minding their own business, being retrograde. Nobody is actually, there's no stations. No one's changing direction, but we still do have the 2 retrograde.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's kind of unfolding there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So having looked at the ingresses, the lunations, and any stations, of which there are none, I always like to look at the background energy of these planets. So for this, it's generally a broad stroke, but you want to get the vibe of the energy at the time, because although we can be nitpicky right down to the detail, you want to have a broad view of what's happening in January.
Yeah, the overall vibe.
Yeah. So for this, I look at the beginning of the month, the beginning of January, and I look at the end of January, and I see which planets have shifted and what the energy shift is. So in this, for my background energy, I'm only looking at the 10 planets, and they are specifically the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, ignoring the moon. So I'm looking at those planets and how they've shifted signs and how that energy has shifted. So let's just have a look at that.
Love it.
So on the 1st of January, the polarity emphasis is active over passive, because we've actually got 6 active planets and only 4 of the 10 are in passive signs. So active, this is what we're talking about. We've got this active vibe continuing on. So active means that you're going out there, you're putting things out in the world, you're ejecting your energy into the world. That's what happens when active is strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a strong active polarity shows that more actions will be taken and initiatives will begin. So a lot can get done during this month.
Yeah.
Then if we look at the element shift, what we have is that at the start of the year, it's not necessarily evenly divided. Looking at the elements for January, the element emphasis is not clearly defined, although fire is still ahead of the others by a whisker.
Okay.
For an element to be emphasized, it must have 2 more planets than the next best, and it doesn't. So we've got fire at 4, earth at 3, air at 2, and water at 1. So although fire's leading by a whisker, it's not what I would call emphasized yet. Just to split a hair.
Sure.
And then the mode. So the mode is absolutely cardinal.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got 5 planets in cardinal, which is 2 more than the next best, which is 3 in fixed and 2 in mutable. So cardinal is strong.
Clearly strong.
And so strong cardinal indicates that things will start up again as people get moving on their projects.
For sure.
It's an actively pushing forward month.
Yeah. And I love it how like a lot of things are not in Aries, but that means that the overall feeling is Arian because we've got fire and cardinal.
Yeah. That's how the month begins.
That's how it works.
That's how it begins.
Yeah.
And then as we get to the end of the month, there's a shift now. So what we have on the 1st, we've still got the active polarity strong, but it's now way stronger because we've now got 7 in positive, 2 in negative or passive. Mm-hmm. So active is more dominant now by the end of January.
Yeah.
So active thing, that is, again, people are moving, pushing forward with agendas, with procedures, with projects, and we are in general pushing forward on the active. And by the end of the month, then the element then is strongly air. So there's a shift there. And we have half the planets now in air. We've got 5 in air, and that's way more than the next best, which is 2 in fire. So where we started the month of fire, it's now this total shift to air, which is the Aquarian coming through.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. And then the mode is now moving towards fixed from the cardinal.
Yeah.
So it's becoming rigid.
Yeah.
And we're saying, we're standing our ground. We want this. We want that. Because this is Aquarius talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So overall, the results by the end of the month, by the end of January 2026, the emphasis is on fixed air, which does equate to Aquarius. Now, it doesn't always, not every month we don't have this. So, but this time we absolutely do. So we've got strongly fixed, strongly air, and it's strongly active. Yeah. So this is Aquarius.
Amazing.
So Aquarius is totally having its moment.
It's dominating January. Yeah.
This is not a year where Aquarius was wishy-washy.
No.
You see, yeah.
No.
And we had it previously in December and November. We had softer things, but January is going to start the year off, and Aquarius is coming to the fore with all its principles of humanitarianism, freedom, equality for all, clean water for all,
technology,
all of these things, right?
Yeah. All of that.
So the whole shift is there. And I've actually got these tables, and you can click through to the website to see the tables I'm referencing here about the fire, earth, air, and water, cardinal, fixed, and mutable. It's quite clearly there on the blog post what I'm actually talking about here.
Yeah, it's very cool when you see it in real life. And it's nicely color coded.
In full color. Well, of course, it's got to be in full color. Yeah. So my thoughts I'm saying is, as I wrap up January 2026 Astro Overarch, I hope you are looking forward to the dawn of a bright new year, and thank you for sharing it with us. But the point is that January, things are going to happen.
Yeah.
There's going to be a shift. And if you're not part of the rebel group or the rabble group out there arguing about things, you need to mind your own business and stand on the sidelines, because the energy is quite volatile.
There could be sparks.
We've got Mars conjoining Pluto.
Yeah.
That is a volatile energy.
100%.
And care needs to be taken about what are we going to get upset about? What do they call this rage triggering?
Yeah.
When the news comes in and so-and-so's done this.
It's like doom scrolling, but rage scrolling. Yeah.
Yes. And people are triggered and say, oh, this is outrageous.
Yeah. And it's what engages people. So, of course, the algorithm is going to push whatever engages
and it's
people.
Totally the computer, the internet. And
if you're engaged, if you're enraged, you're engaged.
There you go.
I just made that up. Wow.
Go Arwynne. Yeah. So that's super interesting how it's all circling around this energy of Aquarius in its purest form.
Totally.
There's 5 planets going through, energizing the sign. So not to be ignored.
Not to be ignored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've looked at the astrology. We now have a fabulous new segment for you, and this is Goddess of the Month.
Yes.
So this is over to Arwynne, who does her badass goddesses, and she is going to explain to us the Goddess of the Month for January 2026.
Yeah. So I am going to be doing this every month. And as many of you may know, I do badass goddess drawings, and I've got a badass goddesses calendar, a book that's published on Amazon. You can search for it under either my name, Arwynne O'Neill, or Badass Goddesses. I don't think there are any others that are competing for that name.
So this is original art?
This is original art, exactly, original art. And also, I love to just research the goddesses from all these different cosmologies around the world. I love the fact that even cultures that we think of as kind of like more patriarchal or more like sexist or whatever, they also still have some badass goddesses. They have not only just like, oh, this is the goddess of fertility, this is the goddess of love, whatever. Like some of them have, oh, this is a goddess of like storms and sacrifice, and she will eat your babies if you don't like fall in line.
Strong women.
Yeah. So my chosen goddess for this January specifically is Seshat, who is the Egyptian goddess of writing, wisdom, knowledge, and record keeping. She is the female scribe, and she was considered the patron goddess of architects, mathematicians, astronomers, and librarians.
Wow.
She's credited with inventing writing and was often depicted with a headdress that includes a 7-pointed star with downturned horns that are kind of in the shape of a crescent moon. And this is my possibly favorite part of her. She's for some reason wearing a leopard skin dress, which is like I'm sold. I love to wear a leopard skin dress. I don't know if you all do, but
I do. I love it. Love it. Love it.
I'm there for any goddess that just rocks up in a leopard skin dress for no reason. She's like, yes, I'm the female scribe, but also I'm rocking leopard skin. So anyway, she's a female scribe. She is the patroness of all forms of notation, which includes writing, accounting, and record keeping. She is the keeper of knowledge and wisdom. So this is perfect for January because this is the time where we set our intentions for the year.
Yes.
We keep as she was called, the house of life. This is the library and scriptorium. So she preserves all the writings that were the previous year and all of the predictions for the coming years. She recorded all the important events, the pharaoh's reign, the jubilee festivals, what grain we were storing and what things we needed to trade with other cultures. And she's this amazing goddess who was the consort and or daughter, which is kind of a weird gray area with Egyptian goddesses, with the goddess Thoth, who was the god of writing and knowledge. So she's like the female counterpart to the Egyptian god of knowledge. Yeah, so this is amazing. She's actually kind of like my favorite goddess that I've just discovered. I did not know about her until very recently when I was looking for a goddess for January. And now I'm so excited that I found her because what could be better than the goddess of recorded knowledge? That's so cool.
And what was her name again?
Seshat.
Could you spell that for us?
Seshat. Seshat. Yeah. And she's just
Egyptian, you said?
Yeah, Egyptian. She's all about setting the foundations of knowledge, temples, timelines,
I love it.
Libraries, blueprints, intelligence, crisp energy of planning and documenting. And
This is fantastic. So we're going to put a link below this in the blog post and below this podcast episode. If you're listening on YouTube, there will be a link through to Arwynne's article and about Seshat, and also you can then see her art.
Yes,
her original art that she's drawn in full color.
Yep.
By her own self and of this particular goddess, which is honestly, I've got to say, it's someone I've never heard of, but I like the sound of this one.
Yeah, this is an awesome one. This is an awesome one.
Yeah, what was it you called the keeper of?
She's the goddess of record keeping.
Record keeping, the keeping of records. We love that.
Writing. She's seen with a scroll. Like her symbols are like the 7-pointed star and this the scroll of knowledge Fantastic. That she's constantly writing on.
It's amazing,
and just documenting history and all the mathematical knowledge that you need.
Fantastic! I love that you bring goddesses to us that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you do now and again bring goddesses I have heard of, but this is great. And I like that you've chosen this one for January because it's starting the year off on a positive note for female.
Yes,
yeah.
Totally.
I don't want to say girl power, but really.
I mean, right? It's like, yeah.
We're in 2026. I mean.
Yeah, it's like go watch Hidden Figures, like go watch, some movie about women in math or whatever.
Yes.
But Seshat was doing it like millennia ago.
It's amazing. And it's amazing how back in the Egyptians, which must have been 5,000 years ago, that this woman had her myth then. And we are still talking about her today.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Arwynne.
Thank you. So since this episode is going out in December and we are talking about the goddess of January, I just want to remind everyone that I am selling a Badass Goddess calendar, and Seshat is not in it, but there are 12 amazing goddesses. And if you're interested in that, you can go to mspink.net and check out basically any of my recent posts. You'll see the link to buy my calendar if you're interested. And
in the calendar, let's spell it out. You've got original art.
Original art, full color. 12 goddesses, 12 amazing goddesses and or female creatures of folklore from around the world. And including like female vampires and female demonesses and incredible goddesses from Aztec, Japanese, Filipino, everywhere, all around the world.
Yeah. And I have to say that I've just seen Arwynne's calendar. She just brought it down to us this evening. And this is the best calendar she's done. And she's done calendars for the last 8 years.
This
art is so good. It is such a a far superior product. The paper's better,
Oh,
the images are bigger, the whole thing's bigger, it's better presented. It's absolutely the best work you've done, and I did say so beforehand.
I am blushing to my toes. Thank you, thank you.
And I do believe in supporting local artists and supporting original art.
And I personally, I mean, even if no one else bought the calendar, or if I didn't have anyone to give it to as gifts, I would still print a calendar for myself, because I just love to have a calendar on my wall. I like to have a physical calendar. I can look at my phone and know what time it is and what
it's so difficult, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's just I like to have a thing where I can just glance up and see. Well, like art, but what day it is, what's going on, you know? Yeah. So
I like it. I have it in my kitchen because it's right there above my kettle where I'm looking at everything. Yeah. What I like is that you have a different goddess for each month, and they are frequently 10 out of 12 are goddesses I've never heard of.
Yeah. So you learn a bit.
You absolutely do. Yeah. And it's broadening the mind, and it's also making you realize as a woman that there is this dynamic energy of prominent women going back through time. It's not.
That's what I love about it. It's not just like, oh, the men were the gods of war, the men were the this and that. The men like did all the thing, and the women just, tended the hearth and like had the babies. No, women were war goddesses. They were goddesses of magic. Fighters. They were goddesses of the elements, and goddesses of knowledge, and keepers of knowledge, and especially keepers of mysterious knowledge. And I just love discovering the fact that this was in every culture, like literally every continent on the face of the earth had incredible mythologies that involved very powerful female figures, even if they were cultures that we traditionally do not think of as, venerating actual physical human women. They still had like badass goddesses in their mythologies, which is pretty cool. I like it.
It's pretty. I think it's amazing. And ever since I've known you, which is we're going on 13 years now. Yeah. You've been working on these goddesses, and I think over time it's blossomed. Yeah. You come into your own, you're moving on a different medium now with your art, and the colors are far more vibrant, and it's just, no, I believe this is the best calendar you've created. And I was so impressed when you brought it this evening to show me, and thank you as my Christmas gift. And it will go up, because there's a superstition you don't hang a calendar before January the 1st. Yes. So I've still got the one because we're recording early on. I've still got last year's calendar, but this new calendar is really beautiful, and you should be very proud of what you've done. I just want to say that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I have some friends who literally do not look through the pages of the calendar when they first get it. They just close it. They open on January 1st, and then they wait until February 1st. They just are surprised every month, which I think is delightful, because then I hear from them frequently, and they're like, "Oh, how July was amazing," and I'm like, "Thank you." It's pretty cool.
It's great. These are all, what I like is too, that you're not just regurgitating our goddesses from days gone by. Yeah. Each one is unique. They were drawn last year. It's fresh art. It's original art, and that has to be acknowledged. That has to be acknowledged. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, Alison, do you have any plans for January, for the year? Do you have any intentions, or not resolutions so much, but like what do you hope to accomplish?
Trying to get my ducks in a row. Yeah, there's multiple things going on. I'm continuing with my studying with a college in London, UK, and that's taking a lot of my time. Yeah. I'm continuing on with I'm trying to sort out my Starzology blog. It's a monstrous thing, and just streamlining that. I'm quite happy with the way things are going now, and ideally, I'd like to get more blog posts out, not just once a week. That's just not working. I've got so much more to say, and I've realized that I have this voice, and I've got this platform, and it's important that I get out to say what I want to say. And it's all astrology related. You think you'd run out of things to say, but no. I'm looking at my list of things. What are we going to be talking about this year? We're planning already the actual topics that we're going to be discussing on this podcast, and there are multiple things that people are coming and writing to us. We're getting suggestions. I got a suggestion today about talking about ascendants again. Can we go back to ascendants? Can we? I love it. A lot of questions are going back. Yeah. A lot of the questions are going back to, can we get back to the basics? Okay. They really are looking, our readership and our listenership are looking for basic stuff so that they can grasp what's going on with the signs, the planets, the houses, and the aspects. And there's a lot of, although there's an interest in I call it the highfalutin bits and bobs of astrology. So many people who write to me saying, can we just get back to the basics? I'm trying to read a chart. Where do I start? What's my first 3 steps?
Yeah.
And I think this year in 2026, I want to address simple steps to get to a reading rather than complicated discussions that we have, because these are the conversations you and I have naturally anyway.
Yeah.
But many people are still are scrambling to keep up with, but how do I read a birth chart? Where do I start?
Yeah.
And we need to address those more, I'm calling it basic natal astrology issues about where do I start? What's the first things I need to do? What's the first 3 things I need to do? And what's the first 5 things I need to do when looking at a chart?
I love it.
So we need to help our readership and our listenership by having podcasts about that. Do this. Here's 5 steps to get to point A or point B, even though it's clearly, I want to say, it's obvious to you and I. However, people coming in brand new are saying, well, how do I know where the ascendant is? So we're getting these kind of questions.
I love that. Yes.
And I think that during the course of 2026, we're going to try and help as many people as we can get up to speed with some basic, simpler discussions about this is an ascendant, this is where you find it, and this is what it means.
I love that.
And perhaps even things like this is the North Node, and this is what it means, and why you would even go and look for it.
Yeah.
And to help people navigate how to read a birth chart. This is the question we are continuously getting. No one's asking me about Anticia and blah, blah, blah. They're saying, yes, but where do I begin? I've got this chart. I don't know where to start.
I love that. We actually had a recent episode about the rising order of the Sun, Mercury, and Venus.
Yes.
And I had some feedback about that from a couple of our, super fans. And as I was talking about this to them, I just suddenly realized, oh my God, we could have just explained it this way. It's not until you hear feedback where you suddenly go, oh God, there's such an easier way to say it. Right?
Really?
And we could have just been like, no, it's the order of the houses, because not everyone's going to have it. Like, I think the 3, like the 2 of us, you and me, we have them in that 3rd, 4th quadrant where they're just like right near between the midheaven and the ascendant. So it's very easy to see what the order is. But really the easiest way to say it would be like, if you have the Sun, Mercury, and Venus in a certain order from house 1 through 12, that's the order.
Yes.
It's house 1 through 12, whatever order that is.
Right.
If you have Venus first in the, first house, and then you have Mercury in the.
So what was the question from our?
It was basically just.
How do you know which one's rising first?
Yeah. Because the way we described it, it didn't quite resonate. It was just more like, oh, I don't understand what rises first. Well, just look in the order of the houses. Just look in, it's basically going counterclockwise.
And yet, if there's something on the 12th and then the first, that would be.
It's counterclockwise, but it's counterclockwise from the first house.
This is it.
So if you have the Sun in the first house, that's the first one.
That's super interesting, because we think we've been clear enough, but clearly we haven't.
Right.
Because this is what I'm getting to, that people are coming back with a basic question. How do I know what's rising?
Exactly.
How do I know where the ascendant is?
Right.
And there's all these lines and squiggles on a chart. Where do I start?
Yeah. Yeah. And we've been looking at charts for so long that we don't necessarily, and even I, like, I will frequently be like, oh, wait, but what if we, and then, but I hear about it from someone else. I'm like, oh, okay, there's an even easier way to say it. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. So this is it. So it's a matter of, and they say that people who are advanced and understand the complexities of astrology don't mind the simpler explanations.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That I came up with I did a writing course recently at my university, and they were saying, spell everything out. Don't have a FAQ page. Answer those questions, because that's what people are asking.
Everything is an FAQ. Everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you need to be addressing these issues. And to be honest, I didn't realize at first that we had so many basic questions, pre-basic questions, which need to be addressed first, rather than, I'm going to talk about, as I say, Anticia or whatever it is, or Dexter aspects, all these complicated things that interest us. But we still have the majority of our readership at the basic beginning, even pre-beginning, saying, hang on a minute, I've got this circle and these widgets and these squiggles. Yeah. What am I looking at?
It's true. And even like people who I say, oh, I have a podcast. And, oh, what is it about? I tell them it's about astrology. And they're like, oh, I would love to understand about that, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know enough to even listen.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah.
So this is it. So, we do want to make sure that we are attending to our particular audience, and there will be, in amongst some complicated stuff, because clearly that's what we still talk about, there are going to be podcast episodes in 2026 and it's not just back to basics, it's back to pre-basics.
Yeah.
It really is. We have to go a step before the signs.
The language of astrology, essentially.
Yes. What do we mean when we say ascendant? Where do I look? What is it?
Yeah.
And so we've got these, and it's interesting that we're getting these questions, because people at that level, you would think, weren't even listening to us anyway.
Yeah.
But they are, because they're like our conversational style and blah, blah, blah. But we just need to address some of these simpler things, or the more basic facts. Before and that would probably be
vocabulary.
I would want to say maybe every two times in a month we want to be addressing more simpler and have more simpler explanations about simple things that are of interest to many people. So that was interesting. That's super coming through.
Well, that's a great resolution for both of us for the next coming year.
Yeah. So that's because it's January, we are going to hopefully lean into our Seshat as well, and keeper of the records, and make sure that our records are correct and we're not just starting too far down the road and assuming people know things, because clearly there is a need for a simpler explanation of some basic things, and it would help many people understand their chart better.
I love that. Yes.
Okay, so we've been talking about the January 2026 overarch. We've spoken about the lunations. We've spoken about the stations, of which there are none. And we've spoken about the planets ingressing into new signs. We've had a little bit of a discussion about what the energy shift is going to be. And we've also started our brand new segment on Goddess of the Month from Arwynne, which is absolutely fabulous. So if you have found value in this episode, please do consider sharing it with anybody who'd be interested. Make sure you're getting our newsletter, and you can sign up at starzology.com/newsletter. And when you do so, you do get you get a subscriber, better pricing for all my astrological, well, not all of them, for many of my astrological services. Make sure you're getting Arwynne's newsletter, and you can find her at...
I'm at MsPink.net, MSPINK.net, and I send out my weekly newsletter every Saturday about goddesses, art, popular culture, and personal stories.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you so much for everyone who's got this far, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for getting this far through the episode. I just want to take a moment to tell you about the two main options of my astrology services. So the first one is coaching. If you are an aspiring astrologer, and by that I mean someone who's perhaps a hobbyist astrologer, or someone who's learning astrology, or a student, or you've got a few books and you've been doing it for a while, but perhaps you need a little bit of help to bring it all together, then maybe getting some astrological coaching from me would be the answer for you. The astrology coaching I offer is a 1-hour session on Zoom, and it's tailored to answer your particular questions. For example, if you have issues with natal chart readings, we can go there. Or if you're having problems working with your forecasting, we can go there. Or even basic astrology stuff, or even getting yourself organized for your astrology business. The idea is that astrological coaching will answer your particular questions. It's tailored specifically to you and where you are in your astrological journey. And I'm happy to help you out with some guidance about how you can get going, what to focus on, and what to dismiss. So that would be the astrological coaching for people trying to learn astrology. The second astrological service I offer is consultations. So this is for someone who perhaps doesn't know anything about astrology, but they just want to have their chart read or get their chart done. Call it what you will. So once more, this is a 1-hour consultation over Zoom. I will interpret your chart, tell you about the main features, tell you about where the energy is flowing, and all the rest of what is entailed in a thorough natal chart interpretation. I can also add in some forecasting in there too, bearing in mind we only have 1 hour. So just in summary, I've got coaching for people who want to learn astrology, and I've got consultations for those who want to get an astrology reading done. I'm Alison Price from Starzology.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.